All praises to Yahweh, Allahayana wa Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Kafidash. I was just flicking through YouTube and this scene came up with James Earl Jones, you know, and then I realized the movie was made in the 70s and he looked quite you know, mature here, but still young, you know what I'm trying to say? Because ever since I've ever seen this brother, he's always been, you know, not young and spry. And then I realized that this brother, right, is 91 and he's still around. Okay? And watch his movie as well, Claudine Welfare Fraud Scene. Okay? Okay, and as you can see here, there's James Earl Jones is one of his wives. And I tell you one thing about this brother, man, he's got some good taste in women. Because both his wives, freaking beautiful, man. Check out his wife, Cecilia Hart, how she looked in the early 80s when he married her. And Julian Marie. You know, here she is, Julian Marie, one of his wives. You see James Earl Jones there with the traditional look, you know. And just wanted to touch on Israelite foreigners or confusion of faces. You've seen how James looks, right? You know, looks like a Judite. I don't know whether he's Judah, Gad, or whichever tribe he's from, but he looks like a Judite, okay? Light-skinned brother, you know, tan complexion. Here he is again, yeah, with, Julian Marie, okay? That guy's 91, man. No walking stick in that, you know? That's his son. That's James's son. Now, if you look at James's son, Flint Earl Jones, who was born in 1982, who's about 40 years old, doesn't he look kind of Jewish? Or, like, well, he is a Jew, but does he look like a small hat, big nose people? You know? Or a light-skinned Ephraimite. Now, look how he looks. Now, let's just say, right, hypothetically speaking, if he shaved his head, you didn't see that curly hair. Now, if you saw this geezer, right, walking down the street, you think, oh, damn, you know, cracker or whatever, you won't know, bro. You won't know who's who. Confusion of faces. This is one generation in, bro. Okay? Now, can you imagine Flynn's children? He's 40 years old, so I'm assuming he's got maybe a 9, 10-year-old or a couple of kids. He'll probably look like, if he married a white woman, that is, a so-called white woman. I don't know if James's wife could have been Israelite foreigner, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just saying how his son looks. Okay? This is a confusion of faces. Okay? This happens in one generation. And how do you think Jake's and Eve's are going to look, right? A couple of hundred years later, a couple of thousand years later, completely blended in, but you've got that Israelite spirit in you. Yeah? A lot of you Jakes out with this black only bullshit, right? Black means negative and nasty and disgusting, everything negative you can think of. Okay? You're not black, you're brown, different shades. Okay? The original look is how James looks. Okay? Alright? But that's how his son looks, because we deal with women of other nations, and now the women of other nations, or Israel foreigner women, are beautiful. Okay? You Jakes out there that, you know, is both parents have to be Negro, or they've got to have a Negro look. That's some bullshit. Because a lot of you have got people or men in your camps that are Edomites. Because you just say, okay, he's got a big wide nose, he's dark, you've got kinky hair, get that so-called brother in the camp. That's not enough. It's a spirit that counts. Okay? Jeremiah 12:9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Okay, speckled bird. A bird could have yellow spots, cream spots, white spots, brown spots, yellow spots, light brown spots, dark brown spots. Yeah? That's how Israel looks like everybody on the earth. Okay? Some of us are blended in with the nation that we grew up in. Some of us, you know, kind of stand out because we look like, for you got a lot of Israelite foreigners, let's just say, grew up in the Northwest Indian culture, or let's just say the land of Elam. A lot of Israelite foreigners there, right, look Italian, okay, look Hispanic, Okay, some of them look kind of like Ephraimite with a tan skin and a curly, kinky hair. I've got that in my family. I've got that in my family. Okay, blue eyes, green eyes. I've got that in my family. It's not something to brag about. I'm just saying, some of us sort of like, even though we've grown up in a certain culture, we stand out because we don't even look like them. Because around my own people, people say that, yo, you look like this person, you look like that race or that race or that race. You know, any just, you know, like a lot of, like you look at James Earl Jones, you look at him and think, nah, he looks like Gad, Reuben, he looks like an Ephraimite. Some of you black only Israelites will say, oh, he's mixed race, he's not a black man. He ain't no black man. He's a brother. That deep, bassy voice. Who's got the sound of many waters? Yahweh Shai, right? A loud voice. Who's got loud voices? Yahweh Shai. Who narrated the King James Version book as well? Didn't James Earl Jones narrate one of them? It's spiritual, man. That deep, bassy voice as well. We're everywhere, man. And that's prophecy. Isaiah 11:11, where we're scattered to all the slaveries and captivities and migration patterns, you know, hiding and dealing with other women, then settling. You know, the Lord gives you a woman. She could be an Elamite, Edomite, Ishmaelite, whatever, Hamite, whatever she is. You know, her father might give you some land or some dough, you know, and then you might settle there, take on their surname or your surname, and your surname gets chopped and muddled around after a few hundred years or whatever. Your original look is gone, and your children look like the mother's family. You know, Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and the islands of the sea. Okay? Egypt is the land of Ham, Middle East, Assyria. Cush is the land of Ham. Pathros, I think, is in Europe, Greece. Elam is the land of India, Afghanistan. There's loads of Israelites in the land of Elam, bro. Loads. Millions, millions, millions. Okay? Northwest India. Listen, my family grew up, I grew up here. But you have to be an Israelite foreigner from that part of the world and recognize who's an Israelite. Brothers that haven't grown up around so-called, I don't like using the term East Indian because there's many races, sub-races within India alone. I'm saying the Punjab area, the northwest part, the northern part, which is on the border of Persia and all that. A lot of those people there are the best warriors, they're the best fighters, they're the best actors, they're the best looking. You know what I mean? You know, just like Jake in the West. Yeah? And a lot of them are Israelites, man. They're very spiritual, you know, even though they're not following the doctrine of the truth, 144%. You've got to be an Israelite foreigner from that part of the world to know who's a Jake, okay? If you're not an Israelite foreigner or a Jake from that part of the world, you're not going to recognize it unless you actually work with them or talk to them. You understand? And a lot of you brothers out there never grew up with them. You look at them and say, oh, he looks like a Latino brother. You know? Well, technically he is. You know, he could be an Ephraimite from that part of the world. You know? We're all brothers and sisters, Israelites, we're scattered everywhere. You know? The Lord's going to divide the wheat from the tares, man. A lot of you niggas out there, right? I shouldn't say that, so I'm trying to keep this professional. A lot of you jakes out there, man, are into the color thing. Color counts. Color does not count, bro. Okay? If we all look the same, have the, what you call the original look, Esau would just say, okay, get those guys with this much melanin in their skin and this much kink in their hair, take them out. The Lord has hidden us. Okay? Matthew 13:30. Let both grow together until the harvest. That's when Yahweh Shai returns. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, which are the heathens, and people, you know, some of you Jakes in the hood that grew up with these weirdos that look like you, but they act weird. Then you realize that, oh, okay, his dad was Ali from down the road, or some Ishmaelite, or some dothead from India, or some cracker, you know, whoever son that person is. And you think, why this guy's weird, man? Now he's weird. He's got a weird, funny walk. He's weird, off spirit about him. This is funny, right? I'm not clicking. There's something weird. You know. And then you know what that weirdness is. That person's not an Israelite. Okay, and then the ones that you vibe with that may look like other nations, then your dumbass might think, everybody is cool, everybody is nice, we all get along. No, more than likely those people are Jake. Okay, they're Jake. I met a couple of people like that. I met a guy I used to work with, real cool brother. In the office are all crackers, yeah. And he was there. He was kind of borderline, okay, about my complexion. But he had short hair, so I can really see if his hair's curling and that. He had it clipped down, maybe I think number one. Eurocentric features. And then I was vibing with the brother. Hey, I thought, man, this guy's cool as fuck, man, And then I said, listen, man, who's your dad? What nationality is your father? He said his mother is Italian. No, okay, he's more than likely a Jake, And then he said, my father is West Indian, so-called black man. I thought, okay, fuck, And then I thought to myself, damn, no wonder. He's a Jake. And then I told him, a little bit about the truth and everything, and he was vibing with it and everything, man. He was vibing with it and everything. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with the guys. I'm just saying, there's a lot of you Jakes out there that shun other Jakes because they look slightly different. Or you get jealous of them, because they could be high yellow or they have so-called good hair, and they get attention of all the females in a certain area, and you get mad at that. You can't get mad at him. If the Lord made him a certain way, it's the Lord's decision that gave him those eye color, that shade of skin, that hair, whatever. It's still an Israelite. In the kingdom, we'll get everything back. Pertaining to a particular tribe, we'll get our original look back. They're still going to be beautiful. They're going to look way better, man. All those flaws that you look in the mirror sometimes think, oh man, I wish I was this, I wish I looked like this, you're going to get that back, man. You're going to get everything back and then some. Okay, there, 11:11, wheat and tears. There you go, man. Flynn Earl Jones. He's got his father's blue eyes, as you can see. I guess, from the picture and the light's right in his face, so obviously he's definitely 2-3 shades lighter than his father. This is how we're blended in, man. The same reason how the Lord has made, another example would be Moab, which is, Chinese people. There's a lot of Israelites amongst them. Bruce Lee's an Israelite, more than likely a Judite. Judah, covert, amongst Moab in the scripture, where the Lord has hidden, all right? The Lord has hidden Israelites and Judites amongst Moab, and Moab are the Chinese. So, like Bolo Yun and any tall, you don't really see tall Moabites, man, In some of the spirits, you see a real tall Moabite, like in James Bond movies, you see this tall Moabite, he's fighting James Bond or whatever. You think so? Now when I think about it, you know what? That's more than likely a Jake. And we're the most numerous nation on the planet Earth. Yeah? And Moab is not going to vibe with other Moabites. They're going to stand out. Certain Moabites get facial hair real thick on their face, but they've got the Moabite features. Some of them do, some of them don't. There's little traits that give you an inkling that could be a Jake. Jake's like China Mac. That's a straight up nigger. He even says it when he was small. Other gooks, Moab, who we assumed that were his people, they could have been Israelite foreigners, or they could have been just Moab. They used to call him Black Boy. Why? Because that's his spirit. That's who he vibes with. That's who he vibes with. And China Max, he's tall as well. I'm not saying that every Israelite's going to be tall. I'm just saying that you don't really see Chinese people that are like 6'2", 6'3". I've never, hardly, I hardly even see him like that. I'm just giving you small little examples of known jakes, that are covert. The Lord has hidden us, man. And why has the Lord hidden us? To preserve us. Okay? To preserve us. So when that day comes, because you've got to be spiritual. And also the Lord is testing out the elect as well. Are you spiritual? Are you carnal? Both people are carnal. Okay? Great Millstone are spiritual. And affiliate camps are spiritual. Okay? Because if you look at Great Millstone, the camps have grown spiritually. And every camp has got a diversity of shades and colors of Israelites. That's the stipulation. Isaiah 16:4. Let mine outcasts dwell with thee. Moab beats out a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. For the extortioner is at hand, and the spoiler ceases. The oppressors are consumed out of the land. What's covert? Covert. Covert means hidden. Let my outcast dwell with thee. Who are the outcasts? The Israelites that were scattered. Let's read verse 5 as well. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hastening righteousness. Go to Deuteronomy 28:64 as well. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth and even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And you've got a lot of Jakes worship Caesar, Islam, Buddhism, atheism, all sorts of nonsense, man. They do everything else with passion, except, praising the truth, and most importantly, praising Yahweh Allah and Bahasham Yashai Basham Kakorash. I was quite blown away by this. Look at it. I never knew he had children. I thought these were two beautiful wives he's had, right? This is one of his wives from before. To see her heart. Man had good taste, and you can tell he don't want to be with no nigger woman, man. I don't blame him, man. Look at that. Look how much when he married her. That's a nice looking Edomite woman, and whoever she is, nice looking woman. I don't know what it is, man. Women in the 70s and 80s had so much sex appeal, man. Probably them feathered bangs that do it for me. There she is here when she's a little older. She passed on at 68. And she's a little mature. There she is in her youth. Probably early to mid 80s. First Corinthians 2:15. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. Because you've got to be spiritual. Because the things of this world that are seen are carnal. And what does Hebrews 11 verse 1 say? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You got some people saying, I only believe it when I see it. That's kind of a stupid statement to make. I'll believe it when I see it. How about, having faith? How about being spiritual? And that's his other wife, his first wife. Being spiritual is key, man. I'll find a picture of the sun again. Where's it gone? Where's the head to go? I'm going to find it again. Then we'll join it. Damn, the Edomites don't age well, do they? Hayden Christensen. Wasn't he in that movie Jumper? He looks like an old man there. Yeah. Age have no crackers, that's for sure. Look at that. There's a fruit of his loins, and there's his woman. You never know. All three of them could be. She could be an Israelite. You just don't know. But these two, obviously Israelites. You know, gotta be spiritual, man. You gotta get out of that BS. Okay, gotta get out of that carnal BS. Anyway, wanted to touch on Israelite foreigners, speckled bird. You know how sometimes things happen, circumstances in life where the Lord puts you in a situation, right? And you just get blended in, man. You just don't, you know. You've seen how Jake deals with women of other nations or Israelite foreigner women. How much more do you think it was back in the ancient world, man? When women were real feminine and I mean, women are attractive today. Can you imagine how attractive they were back in the ancient world? Shit. I'm just thinking, as a man, obviously, we're men. Israelite women, we love women, man. So just all these thoughts come in my head. Anyway, Salakia for digressing there again. Just wanted to touch on that. All praise to Yahweh Eloheinu, B'Hashem Yahshai, B'Hashem HaKakodash, Wa Abba